You're welcome.
Oh shoot! Take me off here. Take me off. Take me off. Take me off. I don't want to. The latest violation stems from an April 22nd interview with television channel Real America's Voice, in which Trump criticized the speed at which the jury was picked and claimed without evidence that it was stacked with Democrats. Well, once testimony resumed, Jeffrey McConney, the former Trump Organization controller, recounted conversations with longtime Trump Organization chief Alan Weissenberg in January 2017 about reimbursing Michael Cohen, Trump's former lawyer and personal fixer, for the $130,000 payment intended to buy the silence of a porn actor who he has said she had a sexual encounter with Trump a decade earlier. Well, Weissenberg said that we'll get some of the money to Michael. We had to reimburse Michael. It's just a must. He tossed the pad toward me, and I started taking notes on what he said, McConney testified. And that's how I found out about it. Well, he kind of threw the pad at me and said, "Take this down," said McConaughey. So it's probably the same thing that they said to Trump when he tweeted yesterday, who worked for Trump's company about 36 years ago. Well, a bank statement displayed in court showing Cohen paying Keith Davidson, the lawyer for porn star actor Stormy Daniels, $130,000 on October 2016 out of the account for the entity Cohen created for this purpose. Well, Weisenberg's handwritten notes about reimbursing Cohen were stapled to the bank statement in the company's files, McConaughey said. Actually, his name is not McConaughey. His name is McConney. These notes spell out a plan to pay Cohen $420,000, which included a base reimbursement and then was doubled to reflect anticipated taxes, and they added a $60,000 bonus. Well, you know what? While you were paying out all that money, you should have saved a little, because it looks like these fines are mounting, and I don't know what the last tab is going to be. But guess what? If you keep running your jabs, you're going to keep running up a tab.
Well, you know the old saying, put your money where your mouth is. I guess clearly he's putting his money where his mouth is.
It's backwards. You putting your mouth where your money gonna go.
Well, I said what I said about the tweet or truth, but I believe he's back on Twitter. Surprisingly, yeah, he's back on Twitter. He's been back on for a while, and my account is suspended, so I don't even know.
That's what you've been talking about here. You don't got the same connection. You gotta up your Rolodex.
But I had to say that because I was pointing out that maybe he is learning his lesson. It's just taking him a little longer because he did remove the tweet. Now, usually he wouldn't remove the tweet. He just paid a fine. But it was gone quick. And he doesn't listen to anybody. Former Trumpers, staffers have said that he doesn't listen. He does his own tweeting. So maybe he getting a wake up call. That's what I want. You know, I had to point that out for Jarrell's president because I don't want us to be one sided on that.
For Jarrell's president?
Jarrell's.
No, that's your president. Well, you know what? Whoever your president is, let's set the right precedent. Now, literally, this, like the judge said, you are the former president. You may be the next president. So people respect the office and not necessarily those who occupy the office. But there's a responsibility that we have as office holders. And I'm not an office holder, but I'm saying if I were to be an office holder.
You're an office holder.
Yeah.
Chief executive officer.
That's
you hold an office.
But I'm talking about public office.
Right.
But we do have the responsibility to respect that office as well. Now, a lot of people have said that Trump just doesn't respect the office or anything else unless he has sanctioned it as what his posture is. Well, you need to stop posturing because obviously they have been talking about 2 weeks ago how he was hemorrhaging money. This is money you don't have to actually give if you just keep a lid on that flap.
Well, you're in that realm of people, right? And
don't be trying. You know what?
Not in the Trump. No, not in the Trump
that's not
realm.
what you said. I want to be real clear.
Successful people, right?
Do not.
So no, because when I first met Dr. Willie Wilson,
I want you to silence his mic.
No, he said something to me. So for Trump to pay a $10,000 fine, Dr. Wilson asked me when I first met him how much money I wanted to make a year. I didn't know what to say. I'm like 24, and I said like $150,000, $200,000. He said, "Well, I can't hang with you because I spend that on vacation." So when you think of $10,000, don't even get me started on some $10,000 fines I just found out about. But when you're at that caliber, Trump is like, "What's $10,000?" He may spend that on
10,000. It was 10 in total.
Right,
9 plus the 1.
Yeah,
but it hasn't stopped.
And he like, whatever, I'll spend this every day on coffee, $1,000 cup of coffee.
Well, that was what we said. Jarrell likened his $1,000 to a penny.
Justice.
Justice likened his $1,000.
We got J&J in here. Get mixed up a little bit.
Fish. Hey, you know what? All I'm saying is that at some point, you got to stop this clown act, my man, because like literally, you could be the next president.
You could be.
But I guess these antics are making him ever popular.
But yeah, they said on the View this morning that they believe these court cases and all of this is doing nothing, no harm to his base. It's increasing his base and his support. Because, of course, he goes on to say it's like a witch hunt. And, you know, it's like a witch hunt. And, you know, the people I support, you know, I can't multitask.
Well, you know what? More than anything, and I'm going to say that again. Somebody turn to your neighbor and say more than anything.
More than anything.
We just need to keep God first. And somebody please give that message to Trump. I understand you selling Bibles. Read that bad boy. It's Inspiration 1390.
You know, somebody called me on Saturday and I was like, oh no, this is Jarrell. He was like, oh yeah, you the person Marcel be messing with all the time.
What's up?
That's
up,
too funny.
Instagram? Today, first of all, it is Tuesday. I'm so excited to see each and every one of you. Thank you so much. What's up? What's up, Tanya? Y'all, today's exclusive topic is, should you share your location on your phone with your significant other? Should you share your location on your phone with your significant other? Now, I know a lot of you all say, oh, I don't got nothing to hide, until you do. And when you do or don't, should you? Because a lot of times, like my daughter and I, we share our location. My brother and I, we share our location. And mainly for safety.
I'm
right?
like, who's she talking to?
Mainly for safety. So if in fact you know that this is someone's pattern, or if you just
I'm gonna turn my phone on Tammy.
No, you don't.
No, all right.
Don't,
Hold on.
don't.
Can y'all hear Tammy? No, you know what? You're not being right. You only that's like having two kids and only talking to one.
We don't hear that, man. We don't hear that. Anyway. So my daughter and I, as I was so rudely interrupted, but my daughter and I share a location. My brother and I share a location. Because sometimes I'll serially call them just on GP because something will hit me or God will give me a message. And then I try to call them and I can't find them. I just look on my app and I see where they are. I know they're a place where they usually are, and I'm okay. But one time, my brother saw that I was in the woods. I was in the woods of Tennessee, and he was like, "Tammy, why are you in the woods? Somebody kidnapped you." But that's for safety. Now, it's a different situation when it's your significant other, your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever it is. It can be a different situation. But do you think that you should share your location with your significant other?
No.
Marcel said flat out no. And I want to know why. But put your comments in the thread, and we will definitely read them. And those. And
Tina said my husband would not even know what to look for if I shared.
30 seconds.
He would if you taught him how to look for it.
30 seconds.
And you know what? So many people are going missing, right? So that's a safety component that your phone offers. Should you do that?
But I think it also messes with the mental health of people.
Yeah, that's what you're sticking with.
Yeah,
that's what you're running with.
Because you know now you're watching that phone.
You if you're watching.
I mean,
no, but not me. But there's some people
that your mental health is in question.
Well,
but if you're not stopping it,
10 seconds.
I'm saying anybody. That's on them.
Why no?
Watching the whole, that's crazy.
What you think? First of all, hi.
I was like, I get to see Tamara.
Right.
The country.
Right.
And I so hate I missed your screening.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. We should have another one. So.
Do another one.
Yeah, not here, but we'll do another one. You can fly to it.
I'll fly
All
to
right, we're
it.
going in.
It was amazing too.
Right there. It's
Absolutely
Wynona,
amazing.
And it's time for community chat.
The mic in front of Wynona. Of course, it is our favorite day of the week. It is Tuesday, and it is Community Chatter with Win-Win Communications. And listen, each and every Tuesday, Wynona comes and brings the noise. We are so happy to welcome back Wynona Redmond.
I'm happy to be here. I said with Tamara, because I was like in the country after movie screenings and everything else.
Girl, I've been up for 2 weeks.
We can't keep her on the ground.
You know I'm a gangster on the ground. I'm a punk in the air.
Right.
Wow.
But we're glad to have you back.
Well, thank you, and I'm glad to be back because today is your day, Miss Wynona. You've been doing your thing as you always do, but you kind of have ramped it up.
You know, it's been quite crazy, but it's been quite crazy.
Crazy
I just
good.
made
Crazy good.
It's been crazy good.
That's
And
good.
honestly, I just thank God. It's May, so
She couldn't even hardly say this. May. Like, how did we
7
get
days
here?
to my birthday, just in case anybody wanted to know.
Oh wow! It's a holiday month.
What does that make you? What sign
A
does that make you?
Taurus.
A Taurus. Okay.
A bull.
Okay.
Bullheaded.
So May being Mental Health Month, May being Women's Health Month, May being Mother's Day, I just thank God that as we prepare for Mother's Day, that I'm Lucy's daughter, and the peace and the calm that God has given my heart as I celebrate my mother in heaven, and just knowing the Christian gift that she gave me, that we don't mourn like other people mourn, because for those of us that are believers, so we had the Dear Me Care Circle. I learned when my twin died in 2007, you do something with it.
Mhm.
So I started dearmecarecircle.org. We had the pre-Mother's Day brunch, celebrating caregivers that are caring for their moms, the caregivers that help us with our family. But that event was a big success. We celebrated mothers. We celebrated special honorees. I was able to have Dr. Mildred Harris, and who cared for her husband for years. This big, phenomenal woman. And we celebrated Bobby Steele, the former president of Cook County government. We celebrated Barbara Deere. She is director of Juneteenth, Illinois.
Yeah.
She had her husband, Commissioner Deere, her twin sister. We celebrated so many caregivers. But this past week, we did a webinar with Dr. Portia Lockett. So we will replay that for those just celebrating mothers and asking, what did your mother wear? What did she smell like? If you were writing a letter, what the first sentence would be on your Mother's Day card in heaven. So as we get prepared for Mother's Day, we have a lot going on. But our guest today, when she makes it, she just flying in from Kentucky Derby, is Dr. Carol Adams.
Oh, yeah.
And this Saturday, May 11th, we're doing a big birthday celebration. One of her passion and projects that she started was South Shore Works. So this Saturday at South Shore Works is going to be a party with a purpose. And so we're going to be celebrating documentary for Dr. Carol Adams. We have been doing wellness with Rainbow Push, and Pastor Bobby Lewis, Ramsey Lewis' son, Yusef Jackson, and of course the First Lady Jackie Jackson. We've been doing Women at the Wellness Table talks. So this Saturday, there will be a whole broadcast around mental health and women and the different issues. So lots going on this week.
Yeah. And
Sounds
you always
like
had
it.
a great event to come to. I like that documentary, and
Yeah, I
she's
love that.
celebrating, I think, 80 years young, Dr. Carol Adams.
In June, she's a Gemini. May.
May,
She's a Gemini.
yeah.
She's a May Gemini.
And this year is running away. We know the DNC is coming. And we got all of our friends, Sister Kiana Barrett and Mignon Moore, and all of the different folks involved with the DNC. But we also have the National Association of Black Journalists conference coming. And Rashonda Hall was on last week. I was talking to Dorothy Tucker today. There's going to be so much to see when you go to nabj.org. July 31st to August 4th, of course, is going to be the National Association of Black Journalists. I call it the blackout time. When you go to network news and you don't see all your black anchors, that's because they at the National Association of Black Journalists.
NABJ.
Yep. And so we're going to
They know how to party too.
They do.
Absolutely.
And we're going to show them Chicago, because we're going to do the Soul Crew, the Soul Bus Tour.
Yep.
And make sure they don't miss the West Side. They're going to get to all the sides. But so all of these things are coming up, and it's going to be exciting to watch. And
I'm looking forward to all of them, especially the DNC, because I got to get my press credentials. I'm trying to be up in there with them, at the Democratic National Convention.
Nice.
And at the Republican National Convention, too.
Of course you are.
Tammy, I knew you may want to
y'all
hear
can
that.
miss me with all that.
But it's a convention town, but we've got to, this is where being on AM 1390, being on Inspiration AM 1390, we got to just pray for our city that these protests, these demonstrations, we live in a democratic society. So to make sure that, the DNC comes and she sees nothing but the best of Chicago, you can peacefully demonstrate, but this should be a record-setting number because Chicago has run it like that with Black business, with minority business, with just engagement to make it good for the city and good for the nation.
So, what do you think? How do you think the impact for the DNC being in Chicago is going to impact Chicago business owners moving forward after the DNC?
Hopefully, it's going to impact it where they have seen a profit, they've seen exposure and national exposure. If they can do it here, they can do it anywhere in the country.
Well, the reason I asked that is because when I was in Paris, they're getting ready for the Olympics,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And so we were at the Louis Vuitton store. We went to the restaurant there, and one of the gentlemen there was like, "Okay, during the time when the Olympics is actually happening, there's not going to be anybody allowed into the store." So we were like, "Well, that's contra to business. You have to have a pass to go in." Is the DNC the same?
I don't think so, but I don't know that. I know that there will be lots of different areas and different. I know that they have started working months in advance.
So what they're doing is, and I've been working.
You should know.
Yes, I've been working very close with the DNC and BLC, who's been championing making sure that our local businesses, primarily Black and brown businesses, are included. And leading up to the DNC, they're highlighting. So Soulful needs to go online to the ChicagoDNC.org, I believe, register as a potential vendor. And every week
Isn't it too late for that?
No. So every week what they're doing is highlighting, if you're on the list, your business now to people in advance so they can see different businesses on the west and south sides.
Oh.
So that when they come, they can kind of say, "Oh, I
So
saw
they're
this."
driving
traffic. And then during the event, of course, they'll be giving out this information as well to how many, I think we're expecting a lot of people.
So what's that website again?
I believe it's ChicagoDNC.org. Adam is fact checking me right now. But I do know that on their Instagram page, they've been giving a lot. And they're still looking for some vendors. And each RFPs are dropping like every other week for different things. And so they've chosen most of their vendors, and now they're looking for subcontractors to work with the vendors.
Oh, that's awesome.
So shout out to Juan T.
Of course,
and her group, who got the largest contract in DNC history for African American led organization.
Wow.
And she also got the contract to host the second largest party for the DNC. So Juan T.
she can give a party.
It's Chicago2024.com. Chicago2024.com. So speaking of, she knows how to party. We got a woman in here that we about to party with a purpose with. And we're going to let Wynona introduce our friend here.
Hey there, we've got Dr. Carol Adams, and we've already talked about, we got a party with a purpose on Saturday, this Saturday, May 11th, which is her actual birthday, celebrating
fellow tourists.
Celebrating 80 decades. But I love the theme and the title of the event, documentary, because Doc has just done so much. We could spend the whole half hour talking about introducing her. But having held so many different positions, she, of course, is an author, but she's got documentaries coming. And I saw footage of Dr. Adams, and I was like, oh, she looks just like Nia. Her daughter looks just like her. But and she showed that she has West Side ties, too. But welcome, Dr.
Welcome.
Welcome back. She's from Kentucky because she just fresh back from the Kentucky Derby. I like those hats I saw and the outfits. But welcome. We want to give you plenty of time to talk about 80 years, 8 decades. You've done so much for so many. And this is a party with a purpose, benefiting South Shore Works, one of your passion projects. You helped start. Tell us about it.
Well, we're celebrating South Shore Works. It's a gala in their honor. And they're celebrating me as the founder of South Shore Works, which I co-founded actually with Henry English and some other people, so that we could bring all the organizations of South Shore together to plan together for the restoration and the revitalization of the community. So this is a chance to do that and to celebrate all these years of working. I can't really believe it myself. I mean, 80 years.
80.
Guys.
We say you're brilliant and you've done so much. So it's like all the roads should meet and intersect. I was talking with Donald Dew, Habilitated Systems Inc., and he was just saying, folks have to recognize that Dr. Adams, when she was over DHS, she helped everybody because he's been doing the historically black,
Right, the
community-based
agencies.
organizations,
Right.
community organizations, and he was just saying, HSI will be in the house, and that you just
Yes.
what those organizations. He was like Bateman and Joel, and when you were at DHS, you were over the largest state budget, but he
Right.
said you helped everybody.
Well, it was a budget of nearly $6 billion.
Mm.
Billion with a B. And in prior to me, they had been giving the grants out in that old school way, sort of smoky room, but
Yeah.
who knows
Who you
who
know.
this and that. And so I started a whole process in a new grants department and a review process where people were able to review the grants, and they were a cross section of people from the state of Illinois and so forth. And so it opened it up for our agencies to get the monies that they deserve and the things they were supposed to. It also caused a big fight and a big controversy.
Oh yeah.
But what I always tell people is, if you don't intend to fight, no sense in you being there.
That's
You know,
it.
they could get anybody if you weren't going to stand for something different and something to do. And frankly, it was one of the things that urged me to take the position, because I had come back from House of Blues. I had been working for the House
She
of
worked
Blues.
for the House of Blues
And I had
Foundation.
come back
Oh
from
wow.
there, and my friends at the Center for Inner City Studies at Northeastern came to my house and said, "Come back. We got a vacancy for a director. We would love you to come back." And I was there, and I loved it there. That was a place I loved being. So I turned down the DHS job at first because
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave Northeastern, and I
Northeast.
really didn't understand the magnitude of the positions. And so certain people came and called on me, like Eugene Davis and Bomani Obedelli and
Mm-hmm.
Lou Jones, and said, "Hey, listen, we need to talk to you for a bit about what this really is and what you can do. And we haven't
Mm-hmm.
had anybody like you in a spot like this, and we need you to reconsider." And fortunately, I did. I mean, I listened to them, I studied, I looked it up, I realized what it was all about and what I would be able to accomplish. And I went on and did it.
Well,
So when you
Dr.
say
Adam.
billion with a B, what are some of the organizations you help? Because on Saturday, this room should be filled with like
Mm-hmm.
lanes of all of your history. But I know Donald was saying, oh, habilitated systems, some of the organizations with education, some of the
Lakeside,
organizations.
different organizations, because see, Department of Human Services had been 6 different departments, and they were now all in one. It was mental health, it was rehab services, it was the your link and your public assistance and your all of these things under one. So 3 in 5 citizens in the state of Illinois are impacted by that department.
Mm.
It is huge, huge, huge. So there were many organizations and agencies, West Side, South Side, Latinx, as well as African American and
We,
mainstream
we should see them in the
organizations
room on
that
Saturday.
benefited.
I
So
already know Leon Walker, he had the dad that started daycare at Malcolm X. And so he already said, oh, yeah.
listen, we even impacted the funeral homes and stuff like that, because there are certain well-known funeral homes in our community who had contracts for the burials of people who died with nobody to take care of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was amazed to learn that when I got to
You know what? I'm glad you said that. I just realized that too. I was working with a family who had to go through DHS, and they helped
exactly.
fund the funeral, and it was more than they expected. It really bridged that gap and helped this family bury their loved one. Dr. Adams.
I don't think a lot of people know that because the GoFundMe has become so popular, but that's a good resource.
Well, that's a whole nother conversation. But you know what? Dr. Sandra Raquette Stinson says she has helped Matthew House. Shauna Davis from Pier 31 said, Dr. Carol Adams is an amazing person, a living legend to Chicago. I love her.
So proud of Matthew House and love what they do.
Yeah.
You know, and I just this morning was seeing
Over
people
30
going
years.
back there to celebrate them for having given them a new chance and a new start and in their lives. So they do amazing work. And that was also the joy of being at DHS, being able to provide assistance to people who provide assistance to so many other people.
So when you look backwards and go forwards, you've done so much. But what I'm so impressed with, you ain't finished yet. But I met Dr. Adams 30 years ago at Loyola University.
Amen.
She was over African American Studies. So we got the Loyola group, the Melody Span Coopers and Andre Grants and Tanya Woods. So you got all of these. So you got this fierce group that are former Dr. Adams students that are also just so you got that fierce group there.
I got my CHA group,
Chicago Housing Authority, the Mama Said Village,
exactly, and the Midnight Basketball.
The Midnight Basketball, you started that.
Oh wow!
Cadre and all those.
This is gonna be a party. It's a reunion.
Yes, it's gonna be a big reunion.
But it's a real party because she said, "I don't want big programs." You tell about the party. I heard about bourbon.
I didn't want it to be some kind of premature memorial service.
That's right. That's
Everybody
right.
standing up talking. I want it very, very brief. So,
that's right.
My friend Pilar Ordain, she did a video, and it's quick and to the point. We're gonna have about 5, maximum 10 minutes worth of talking. We got bands, we got DJ, we plan to party.
That's what I'm talking about.
As long as you better party hardy while you can, and not sit around talking about.
Can people still get in the room? Can they still buy tickets? I believe
they can, but it is getting very, very close. So they better hurry up if they want to, because I think by tomorrow it might be over with.
How can they get tickets?
Can you tell them there's a link?
Got documentary.
They can go to the South Shore Works website. That's probably the best thing to do. Go to the South Shore Works website, and they got a place where you can click on and get your tickets.
Yep.
Perfect. I love it. Well, Dr. Adams, you're doing some amazing work. Wynona's doing some amazing work. When we get back, we're going to keep winning. It's He Always Wins. Pastor Ray Beatty and Shekinah Glory Ministry right here on Inspiration 1390.
Okay, let's find the actual.
I know, I'm looking too. I could have saw you post. Somebody posted.
Okay, guys. So Tanya says no. I don't want to share my location wherever I am. And wherever
you know what? On that flyer is no website either. Wynona, I'm talking.
All right, guys.
Dr. Adams.
South Shore Works.
.com or .org?
.org.
Because this is the flyer.
SouthShoreWorks.org.
SouthShoreWorks.org.
Okay.
Okay, Jarrell, about 12:50. Let's come back in.
It's a generational thing. I don't see no problem with sharing location.
Yeah.
We gotta stay safe.
Oh.
Anytime my girlfriend goes out, me too. We always share location.
Do you share yours back?
Yeah.
So you reciprocate shares.
So
Jarrell shaking his head.
I need somebody.
She got you on a leash, boy. She got you on a leash, boy.
That's why I told you.
Can't use the bathroom without her knowing you.
He's in your generation.
I know.
He ain't.
Yes, he is.
No,
A generation is now 15 years.
He loves to make sure that
He Gen Z, he millennial.
Right.
Well, he's 29.
I know. You're preaching to the choir right now.
You guys are in the exact
And he
same
just called you old. I can't believe that.
So you think it's a generational thing if you go share in your location?
The audacity of Gen Zers.
Hearing a lot of them.
Ready?
Hearing a lot of people older than me saying like, I ain't sharing my location with it. It's like I grew up in this era and I know what people are capable of. I know things that have happened.
We ready?
He said, "What's that leash?"
9 minutes.
We ready. You rocking with the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. It's your main man, Action Jackson, and I'm proudly posted in the studio with.
It's T Breezy in the building, y'all. It's Tamara Fair on the air, and I am super excited about our in-studio guest today. Of course, you know it's Community Chatter, and we're sitting here with the great Dr. Carol Adams. Fist forever.
And you know it. We want you to rock with Doc.
That's right.
Rock
this
with
Saturday, May 11th, this Saturday.
South Shore Cultural Center, 7 to 11.
And it's a party. She kept saying, we're not having a program, but you do have a video. And you're not finished yet. I mean, so you helped South Shore Works. You co-founded that. You always drop all of you just got connections with everybody, with so many historic, with the publishers, with the universities, with the Sabo Museum, with Loyola, the African American Studies. But you have the book of poetry that we got.
Yeah.
You have another book coming. You got a documentary coming.
Right.
I just love.
What's the documentary?
What's the point of stopping? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
You
even
guys
understand
were
why
brilliant.
people rush to stop unless they were doing things they didn't like. But I have
Mm.
loved all of these things, so there's no reason to stop doing them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're giving me life.
That's right.
Wow.
I love that.
So
And
what's coming?
you don't look a day
Well, what's
over
coming
50,
up,
Dr. Adams. You look better than the bacon and egg sandwich down there. Go ahead. Oh,
Watch
I
your-
seen that. I seen
Well, my next book is called My Dad, the Man.
Mm.
And it is African American women writing about their fathers and the importance and the contributions that they made and how significant they were in their lives and how they laid the groundwork for what they did. Back when I was at Loyola, I did a study on black women politicians, and I learned that most of the women who were politicians were father influenced. They were daddy's girls. They were women who had been very much influenced by them. So I've been interested in that theme ever since. And so I decided, in my so-called, well, I don't know what to call it, refinement,
Right,
that
refinement.
I could write about, that I wanted to put together a piece that explains this, okay? Because my papa was not a Rolling Stone. So that whole narrative of Rolling Stone fathers and all of that is taken over from those hardworking men that came from the South.
Yeah.
That put it down so their kids could go to college. That worked sun up to sundown and beyond that. We haven't told their stories. And so this is telling their stories and it's telling them in the first voice from their own daughters
I like that.
about the lessons that they learned.
And when is that coming out?
Well, I had hoped that it would be out for this Father's Day, but some of the sisters were a little late with their contributions. And so it's going to come out after that. I've got to decide if I want to attach it to a particular holiday or what. But it is more important that everything be just right than it come out for that because people are going to buy it.
But this year?
Because for sure, because it's a very significant topic, and it's got the whole sort of sociological writing in between about the importance of fathers to daughters, how they help them in terms of how they carry on relationships with everybody the rest of their lives. It's set in terms of that relationship with dad, And one of my favorite jazz tunes is Horace Silver's song for my father.
Yes.
And he's got a line in there where it says, if there was ever a man who was generous, gracious, and kind, it was my dad, the man.
I
So I
love that.
took that title from it called My Dad, the Man.
I like that and paying homage to that song. Facebook is saying that's good, that's good. And shout out to Rashonda who put the link in. Go to ticketfalcon.com/rock with the doc to get your tickets because people are texting like, are you going to the party?
My table is already full.
Oh, I was about to ask why no.
My table is already full. Everybody is like, oh, we've got to be in the room for Doc. And you do have a documentary, and you have done documentaries. So it's perfect. This title of documentary.
Yeah.
But what are the documentaries? You got one coming that is
impressive. That's the story of the Catalyst, an organization that was very significant for civil and Pan-African rights in the city of Chicago, who really changed the game in so many, many ways. And it's a story that's not often, that really hasn't been told in its fullest. Organization that started in 1968. I was sort of just coming to Chicago and had the good pleasure of meeting these groundbreaking people like Lerone Bennett and Warner Sanders and Abner Joan Brown and Charles Hamilton and Harold Pates and Andy Thompson and just a lot of folk who are game changers. And it changed my whole world view. And they changed many things in this city. And so it is telling that story, both organizationally and then I followed the individuals. Because we were back in those days where you were having manifestos and taking vows and changing your name and all of that. And we swore to carry on our business in a particular way. That we would work for the people and not for the agency or the organization.
Oh, I like that.
We had a whole manifesto.
We need that back.
Listen, we were so strong that we demanded that our bosses show up at the Afro Arts Theater where we could give them our manifesto called Our Black Bag. And it was designed by Vince Cullors, who had the first black ad agency, I think, in the country. And so all of our stuff looks really good.
So when is that coming?
That comes out after Mad Dad.
Okay, and then you also have been working with Donald Duke, because that whole migration and move, that West,
The West Side
piece,
Story.
he's working on it,
Right.
and you were part of that.
Well, I did that a long time ago. So he was really happy to get the footage that I had from then with a piece called Looking Backward to Move Forward. And it's the history of the Black West Side in a very special way.
Yeah.
Because that was the first place where Black people could own homes. And they had serious home ownership and business ownership that people often forget about on the West Side.
Yeah.
So
No, we definitely got to make sure that comes out and shine the
Documentary.
light. You are definitely like,
documentary.
and the
So
mentors
I
of
got
it.
work to do.
I know, and you know what? Anybody that can sit, who has the honor to sit with you and just listen and glean from you, is blessed. Because every time I'm around you, I learn something new about the great history, Black history of Chicago. But believers, before we out of time, because this I can listen to Dr. Carol Adams for hours on hours, but I do want to say Happy Teachers Appreciation Day.
Yes.
To all of the teachers,
Amen.
especially you, Dr. Adams, Tamara Fair, our educators matter, and you guys,
And nurses.
and it's nurses, yes, teachers
Out of
and
all
nurses.
jobs, teaching is the best ever.
Because they teach the nurses, they teach the presidents, they teach the senators, and you know what? They're often overlooked. But you know what? I saw Tiffany Haddish on The View crying about if it wasn't for her teacher. And this little lady came out. She said she was the only one that believed in me and could see that she couldn't read when she was just faking it to make it. But she saw that there was an issue and made sure she helped her. So
Some teachers responsible for all of us. And the beauty for me is that I did it long enough that now my students are teaching me.
I love
That's
it.
amazing.
Well, that's a great quote to end on today. Wynona, thank you for always bringing great people, great resources, great
Lots
tools.
more coming. I'm happy to celebrate. Doc just celebrated the Chicago Defender birthday this week. Men of Excellence coming June 14th.
Well, it's coming.
Black Chicago coming in October. So
we got so much. Believers, all you got to do is keep tuning in each and every day. We're going to always leave you better than you came. We encourage you to keep Love 24 alive. Tell someone that you don't know that you love them. Tell someone that you do know that you love them. Love will begin to spread like a wildfire. Tamara Fair on the air, I love you.
I love you, Action Jackson.
Believers, we love you. Baby Eminem, we love you. Up next, AC Green. After that, Pastor DeAndre Patterson with the afternoon drive. We get it done all night long right here on Inspiration 1390.
Amen.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Whether you share your location or not, that's
It's
something,
Taco Tuesday.
of course,
It is
it's
Tuesday.
unique to you. It's individual, but it's something that you should consider the pros and cons of before you do it. And remember, if you do and it don't work out, you can always don't. But you cannot not tune in tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow.
See
Wednesday.
you tomorrow.
And our resident security expert will be back with us, and we hope that you will
And
be
Christy
back with
Love
us.
from the She Owns She Biz conference. We got a great show tomorrow.
Yes, you guys take care and stay optimistic. Peace.
Dr. Adams, you